In this video, I'm going to show you guys how my client Pascal has lost 15 to 20 pounds of fat in the last 30 days whilst eating food he actually enjoys. And I've used this diet and weight loss plan and framework to help dozens of men reduce their back pain and joint pain whilst losing weight at the same time. And yep, I'm in a rush, which is why I'm eating it from the saucepan. And it all came down to a super simple principle that I'm going to show you exactly what I did and what I gave to Pascal in order to lose that weight, and that any man at any age can use in order to burn that fat and lose that weight. In fact, I'm even going to show you the exact calories, proteins, fats, and diet I gave Pascal in order to lose this weight, to get him in shape and to help him burn fat as quick as possible. So make sure you stick around for that. So yes, everyone, in this video, we're going to break down exactly how Pascal, basically his starting points, his struggles, his pains, everything that he did from the beginning, like in the last 2 months to get to where he is today. And I'm basically just going to run you through his page right here, right? So this is my dashboard that I set up for Pascal, and I'll be setting up for most of my clients also. Everyone's different, right? So everyone's got a different goal in mind. But so obviously right here is Pascal, right? This is Pascal's page. And I'm basically going to run you through everything that we did with Pascal in order to get him down. So as you can see here, so let me just make this smaller for you guys, get this out of the way a bit. So obviously right here is Pascal's weight. So as you can see in the last 3 months, so he hasn't been in the program for 3 months yet, but last 2, right, he's gone from 125 kilograms, right, down to 108, right, 107 to 108, right. And just before we jump into it, I did make a story earlier today. I don't know when this video is going to come up, but when it comes to losing weight, right, what you guys all understand is it's not going to be a smooth road, as you can see here, right? Some days he goes down a lot, then he goes back up, then he goes down, then he goes back up, then he goes down, 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 then he goes back up, then he goes down, 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 back up a little bit, back up. You know what I mean? So it's very up and down, very, very up and down. But what we did with Pascal and with Pascal's goals and everything in mind, right? His specific goal right here, I've written it down, is purely to burn fat, right, and get in shape. Right? His main goal was at the beginning to burn fat, right? And since he's been in the program for this amount of time, now his goal is actually to build muscle and get healthier and fitter, right? So your goals can change throughout the time that you're in the program, because obviously your confidence increases, and once your confidence increases, other things start getting there. You're like, your mind kind of opens up to like a whole nother life, right? Like it did for me, like it's done for Pascal here as well, and dozens of my other clients. So obviously he was around 125 kg, struggling to lose weight at the time. Now he's obviously down to 107. Probably, I mean, he started in the 14th of June, and today is the 16th of August, right? So that's about 2 months. So obviously Pascal has been absolutely crushing it, right? And I'm not going to lie to you guys, he's one of my top clients at the moment, which is why I'm making a video based around him, right? So you guys can understand, when you put in the work, when you do the things that you're told to do, you can see results, right? Especially if you're on a weight loss journey, right? And something that Pascal also was struggling with at the beginning was cravings, was snacking, was eating rubbish and things like that. And what we did with Pascal is we created him a diet plan, right? I'm going to show you the meal plan in a second and exactly how I created it for him and his goals, right, in order to get him the best results, right? So before we jump into that, is with Pascal, he had obviously quite a lot of weight around his belly midsection, right, which was causing a lot of pressure on his lower back, causing him to have low energy levels throughout the day, because he had to just keep up with day-to-day life, right? And it's very tiring walking upstairs and just little things like that. But what we did with him, and by losing this weight, now he's got more energy. Now he can run about. Now he looks a lot better. He's seeing muscles come through. He's happier, right? And because of that, he's now got other aspirations in life, which is so, so awesome. I'm so proud of him, right? But obviously his struggles were back pain, losing weight, and just wanting a healthier lifestyle, right? He loves food. Who doesn't love food, right? So we got him into different things. And if you guys are really into food also, right, and you are trying to lose weight, try and go for the 0-calorie stuff. Go for, like, if you like Coke, for example, instead of drinking full fat Coke, I know a lot of you guys are against it, drink Diet Coke, right? 0 calories, 0 sugar, right? Tastes exactly the same. It might not have the same buzz that you get from sugary Coke, but it's going to help you in the long run. Think about yourself in the future, not right now, right? Because your health is wealth. And I say it a lot, right? And it sounds so cliche. Everyone says health is wealth, but it is true, right? If you are healthy and fit and you have a good body and a good physique, you're going to go far in life. You're going to be able to enjoy the time with your kids, with your grandkids, with your family, with your friends a lot longer than you would be able to if you weren't healthy and you weren't fit, right? So yeah, so obviously Pascal's goal was to burn fat, build muscle, and things like that, right? And what we did with Pascal here as well, we gave him a daily set target, right? So obviously his protein intake is quite high, right? So we're obviously going for, well, I mean, we started lower and we've obviously increased over time to help him with muscle repair, muscle growth, and to just because the more protein you have as well, the fuller you feel, right? So little things like this, right? And obviously at the beginning we started with a lower calorie rate, so it was around 1600 calories for Pascal, 15 to 1600. And over time, as he's lost that weight, we've kind of adjusted things, right? It's still very early doors, but we've adjusted things in order to suit him and for what he's doing, right? So with Pascal, for example, here, we've obviously started around 1600 calories, 1500. And at the beginning, it was great, right? He had plenty of energy stores. He had enough energy throughout the day in order to get to where he wanted to get to, right? But over time, right, as he was burning that fat, he had less energy stores. He was starting to feel a little bit fatigued, right? And that was the point where he let me know. And from there, we jumped on a call, we sorted things out, and we've increased the calories now. He's still losing weight, though. That's the thing, guys. You can still lose weight, right? So the first stage is always testing, figuring out what he needs, how many calories he needs. And from there, obviously, now we've increased it to 1900, right? And look, when you're on a weight loss journey or anything, you don't need to be bang on 1900. Right? I used to be a perfectionist when it comes to all of this stuff. But one thing I've realized is as long as you stay consistent and within that range, you'll be fine. You'll still get to where you want to get to. It's the same with protein intakes, the same with calorie intakes, the same with anything, right? As long as you're within that range, let's say for calories, you have 2000 calories instead of 1900, that's fine. You say you have 1800 instead of 1900, that's fine, right? As long as you're within that range, that's totally fine. But yeah, so everything there, I'm just reading off here. So with Pascal, obviously his lifestyle, everything has completely changed, right? And also I'm going to show you a few other things that we did with him. So we go to his calendar, right? So I built him out his calendar, everything like this, right? So as you can see here, we've got his calendar. But one of the main points as well that we did with Pascal, and I do with a lot of my clients right here, is we work on habits, because habits are just as important. I don't mention this enough, to be honest, but if you can get into good habits, right? They say not being on your phone before bed, not snacking throughout the day, eating when you're 80% full, not 100% full, right? These little habits and knowing your portion sizes as well helps you rewire your brain to a point where you know exactly what you're doing and what you're eating throughout the day in order to get to where you want to get to, right? So, for example, here, celebrate small wins, eat your protein, sort of thing, right? These habits are genuinely what's got Pascal to the next level. He hasn't realized it, but the fact he's celebrating every small win throughout the day, that's waking up early. That's eating the right meal, right? That's getting back. That's going for a walk. That's going buying a kettlebell in order to do your exercises. Like these little things, if you celebrate your wins, be like proud of yourself, track it. You know what I mean? Eventually, you're going to build up a rhythm. Once you build up that rhythm, it becomes a whole lot easier, right? So working on habits is so important, right? Other things as well, right? Eating protein, all of these little things, right? So important. Digital detox before bed. We haven't got to this section yet, but this section obviously digital detox before bed. If you're on your phone late nights before bed, scrolling, doom scrolling, you're just gonna have a terrible night's sleep. It's gonna affect your body recovery. It's gonna affect weight gain. Because you're gonna feel more stressed in the morning. You haven't had enough sleep. All of these little things, right? And then that releases cortisol, and cortisol end up making you put on fat. And like these, there's so many little things that you don't think is a big deal, but if you do it over a very long period of time, it becomes a big deal, right? It's like saying, yeah, I don't mind. I could have a packet of sweets each day. It doesn't affect me. But you do that for the next 2 to 3 years, right? It's gonna affect you, right? You are what you eat, right? So having a good diet, getting into good habits is so important, and following a routine, right? And obviously, one thing with Pascal as well, and we get him to do is track everything, literally track everything to a point where I know exactly what he's eating. I know exactly what his weight is today. I know exactly what time he started his workout, literally everything, right? So if we scroll down here, we can actually see, right, with Pascal, I'm not gonna show you the photos or anything, but as you can see here, see he's connected his Apple Watch, I'm pretty sure he's got, or a Garmin, whatever you want to use. And we can see here, right? So Pascal's had 8 hours sleep. Perfect. Awesome, Pascal. Right. Today he's only done just under 1,000 steps, but obviously still quite early. It's still quite early. It is while I'm making this video, it's only about 1 o'clock. So he's still got the rest of the day in order to get some steps in. But also look, steps doesn't always mean cardio. You could go on a cycle, and that's totally fine, right? But obviously we've got his sleep here, so we can have a look at his sleep schedule. So as you can see here, in the last, obviously it says a year there, we'll go to 3 months. But yeah, obviously you can see how much sleep he's had throughout the day, right, and each night sort of thing. So this is very good, right? And as you can see here as well, so if you look at it today, hours of sleep only hour and 50. I don't know if that's right or too correct, but when I looked at this and I looked at his weight this morning as well, he's actually gone up in weight, and it's linked to his sleep, right? So as you can see here, look, got a good amount of sleep here, good amount of sleep here, sort of thing, right? Was losing weight in a good ratio, but like you get bits like this, right? Obviously, I don't know how accurate the app is or his watch is, to be honest. I don't know what watch he's got specifically, but this does matter, right? Sleep does matter so much. Don't neglect sleep, right? Sleep is just as important as the workout itself, right? And then we come back to the dashboard, right? We can also come down here. So we've seen the sleep for last night anyway, resting heart rate. And that's another thing as well. I had a meeting with Pascal after a month in, and one thing he said to me that he really noticed was his heart rate. And you might think, right, working out, building muscle, yeah, builds muscle. But by going and doing your runs and doing everything and walking sort of thing, your heart also undergoes hypertrophy. And when your heart undergoes hypertrophy, that allows your body and your heart to push blood around your body quicker and at a stronger pace, right? So for example, when you're, let's say, going for a run, right? Now his resting heart rate before when we first started was around 70, which is quite a lot. Now it's 53, right? So as you can see there, it's purely because his heart's got stronger, and per beat it can push a lot more blood around the body each time, right? So that is so important when it comes down to heart rate and everything like that. Obviously, we can see his calorie intake for today as he's tracking everything. I still think some of this is still not reset from yesterday, but you can still see what he's eating today, right? So obviously, body fat percentage is 28 still, so it's still quite high. But from when we first started, it was around 36, right? 36. I mean, this was the 2nd of August. Today's the 17th, so it's probably lower than that now. But as you can see here, obviously, body fat percentage really depends on the machine and what you're using at the gym. If you have one anyway, that's not too big of a deal. And then obviously we have calorie intake. You can see blood pressure, and then obviously achievements as well, right? We send them through achievements. When we're tracking everything, you can see, look, 4-day streak, 100 workouts completed. Boom. You know what I mean? These are small wins that just give you that extra boost, right? And it's awesome, right? But Pascal's actually killing it. And as you can see here, tracking everything, right? So Pascal just added a snack 4 minutes ago. Pascal added 2 meals. We can have a look at the meals and what he's eaten. We can also, if we go in here as well, I can see how much protein intake was eaten during that meal, how many carbs, how many fats, right? So during this meal, we had around 500, almost 500 calories, right? Still got quite a few left. It's only midday anyway. So as you can see here, I can literally see everything, right? And this is how we track everything with Pascal. We see how many calories he's eating, how much protein throughout the day, how much protein's in the meal, water, all of these little things, right? So important, right? Just to help us get the most out of what Pascal's doing, right? So I'll be checking this. Also, my team as well, we'll be checking this each day, right? Just to make sure Pascal is moving in the right direction, right? And then obviously prepare your own meals, right? So today is Sunday. Right, so today I like to tell my clients to do their meal prep. So Sunday, honestly, takes an hour out your day. Like a lot of you guys are like, yeah, too lazy. But an hour out your day to meal prep for the rest of the week, one, that saves you time throughout the week. So you'll probably save a lot more time. Two, it reduces stress because you don't have to think about what you're going to eat for lunch, dinner that day because it's already prepped. And three, it's just going to make the journey a lot easier because you know exactly what you got to eat that day. We're going to jump onto the meal plan in a second and everything. But with Pascal, what we did with him, and I'll basically explain to you in a bit more detail in a second anyway, but what we did with him was for his workouts, for his meal plans, we made it so that throughout the week he had an option. So he had 3 options of meals sort of thing, and he could stick to it. Because with myself, with anyone, right, sticking to a certain meal plan, a certain diet will get you to where you want to get to because it saves you buying loads of bits and pieces here and there as well, right? So that is super important, right? You're following this. So obviously Pascal's sticking to the same similar diet plan. You can switch up here and there. Say you go out for dinner with friends one day or you're traveling. I know it's going to be hard, but as long as you stick within the calorie range, I'm more than happy for you guys to do that, right? But as you can see here with Pascal, everything we have for him is there, right? And we can see everything he's doing, right, to snack. So we can go on to snacks as well. We can see how many snacks he's had this day on the 15th, right? You can see everything that he's eaten, right, for his snack, right? Lunch, dinner for that day. So it's just super clear on exactly what he's doing and why he's getting the results he's getting. Is because everything he's eating is clean, it's good, and it's where he wants to be, right? Because Pascal knows and everyone else knows if you're on a weight loss journey, it's not about perfection, it's about consistency, right? So consistency is so key, right? And then if we go to the training program, we see the training program, everything here that I put together for him, and then the meal plan, right? So I actually gave Pascal the meal plan in a separate folder. Let me actually get it up for you guys. Okay, so this right here is Pascal's meal plan when we first started. And as you can see here, yeah, there is very little calories throughout the whole journey, right? There's still a decent amount of protein. And on top of this as well, so the way I like to work with my clients and the way we do everything is we'd have the meals. And Pascal was very different to a lot of people, right? He only had 2 meals throughout the day, which is totally fine. But also what we did with him was we'd have the meals plus a protein shake that he liked, right? And we'll keep that protein shake around 200 calories, 2 to 300 calories. So realistically, he wasn't just eating 1,500, 1,400 calories. He was having around 1,600 to 1,700 calories a day, right at the beginning. And that right there just helped him grow, get bigger, but burn fat at the same time and feel fuller for longer, right? Because that was one of the issues that a lot of people do have is they get very peckish And I don't know if you guys have been on a weight loss journey, you tried losing fat, burning fat, trying to get rid of that stubborn belly fat, and you feel really hungry. But with Pascal, he only eats 2 meals a day anyway, but he did snack a lot. Right. So what we did is we increased in that protein intake. And as you can see here, we have around 100 grams of protein per meal, right? But obviously, we also added an extra, let's say 20 to 30 grams on top of that at the beginning. Obviously, it's a bit more now, but obviously, this is how we started at the beginning, right? So the way I did it for him as well is I would basically build him out all of this and build this out for him, right? So everything here, you got the meals, you got the recipes, and you got the shopping list, right? So the shopping list here is here to basically just get him to understand what he needs throughout the day. So there's not much thinking going on around the background, right? So he just knows exactly what he needs to do when he's on the journey, right? So there's little to no thinking here, and when it comes to all of this as well, right? So this is like the exact diet framework, and I also gave him some other things as well. I don't want to give away everything, but this is basically how we worked with Pascal in order to get him down to this weight in such a short space of time. Right, obviously we've increased the amount of calories he's eating now. He's obviously upped it, because he's still losing that weight. Right, we upped it around here, and he's still burning fat. Right, it goes up a little bit, it goes down. It probably go up and then down again. Right, but if you guys want my diet framework that I've given to all my clients and everyone else I work with, just comment and DM me the word food on Instagram, and I'll send it over to you there. Right, so just comment the word food, and I'll send it to you there. And basically, on there, I'll basically breaking down exactly everything you need in order to how many calories you need throughout the day, how much food you need, what type of food you need to eat, how many meals you need to have. And everyone's different, right? Pascal likes having 2. I've got someone else who likes having 3. Someone likes having 3 plus maybe a snack here. So it really depends on what you guys are like, right? And what your current diet is, everything like that. And we'll basically give you everything there just to help you guys with that journey in order to lose weight, right? So as you can see here, everything there is going to help you burn that fat and release that stress off your spine, your joints, and just increase your energy levels, right? So super, super important in order to get you to where you want to get to. And then there's one last thing. So I just wanted to go through the workouts that we did for Pascal, right? And it has changed over time, over the last few months that he's been working. So just from the beginning, right, we had a sort of 5-day-a-week sort of workout plan. But at the beginning, it was very, very difficult. So we kept it very light, more body weight stuff, no weight, all body weight, just walking, cardio, core workouts, and things like that, right? So with Pascal, everything was just walking each day, getting those steps in, getting that workout in, and getting that core workout in. Right, so simple, so simple. And at this time as well, 125 here. Within a week, he was down like almost 2 to 3 kg, which is crazy, right? Which is crazy. So as you can see here, right, Sue is so simple. So obviously with the upper body stuff, we kept it nice and light, everything to help just avoid any pain in the back and the joints, make sure his technique's right at the beginning. And the way we did it at the beginning as well was we aimed for around 10k steps a day. I mean, we started with 7 and then we built it up, right? Just so we can slowly, gradually build it up and work from phase 1 into phase 2 into phase 3, right? So as you can see here, so we did that, and it was so simple. And look, say you can't hit a workout one day, look, I give access to Pascal, so he can basically, if you can't get his upper body workout in, just move it a day back, right? Get your core workout in, do something that day. As long as you get your steps in and you do what you need to get done that day, I'm more than happy for you guys to keep it up, right? So that's so important, is just staying consistent. And that's something that Pascal has been very, very good at. And the main thing, right, he's not been perfect. None of this stuff's been perfect, but because he's been staying so consistent and he's been asking my team questions, he's been asking me questions, he's been moving in the right direction, just getting it done. That's why he's been able to see great results in such a short space of time, right? So right here, as you can see, the workout plan was quite similar for the first month. Then as we upped it, built strength, felt more power, now we've added a bit more weight into it. So we've got kettlebells involved, we've got some bands involved as well now, right? So as you can see here, we're tracking everything, boom, right? And then we're up to here, right? So we're now, obviously, we're sticking with the same routine, right? Routine is so important, right? So as you can see, everything's fairly similar, right? Routine-wise, routine is fairly similar. But what does change is the intensity and the workouts, right? You can't stick around doing the same workouts each day. So, like for example, obviously Pascal here, right? We've added a few other things in there. So jumping squats, body weight split squats, everything like this. But obviously, I spoke to him the other day, and now we've got kettlebells, we've got bands that we can add in, right? So by adding in that extra weight, it increases the intensity, increases your heart rate, and it helps you get stronger and burn fat quicker. So as you see here, he rated it 7 out of 10, right? Which is good. So it felt hard, right? And as we're doing that, as we're getting there, it's obviously going to become a lot easier. At the beginning, let's go right to the beginning and have a quick look at how we felt those first few workouts went. So have a look at this one, 10, right? So as you can see, it was 10 here, right? Which is good. It shows that he's pushing himself. Obviously, we had to adjust it a little bit here and there in order to make sure he was doing it and not getting demotivated, right? Because I remember at the beginning of Pascal's journey, right, he went for his walks, did his cardio, and he'll come back and work out. He could only get around 2 sets of the exercises, which is totally fine. The aim of phase 1, the aim of the beginning, is to just build that rhythm, right? So that was the aim of phase 1, right? And then obviously as we've gone further, we've obviously made it harder. It's got easier and easier. And now, as I said already, like when workouts like this, he's finding 7 out of 10. It's a bit harder as well, which is good, right? So he's obviously getting fitter, looking better, right? And things like this. So as you can see here, he's put some other things in there as well, just so I can read them through and understand exactly how to do them. So high push-ups, never been able to do. So we changed that. We adjusted that the other day. Clapping push-ups and diamond push-ups and dips, can't do them either, right? And this is something that obviously I added in. And now, look, we can't get that done, so we're going to adjust it and change it around so we can move things around that way, right? But by doing that and by letting myself know, right, it's not just going to help you, but it's also going to help us understand where you guys are. So by putting all this detail in, right, we're seeing, all right, what he can and can't do still. So that's what we do with the clients, and that's how Pascal has been able to just stay consistent, right? Because he knows exactly what he's going to do that day. He wakes up, follows a diet plan, and moves forward with conviction, right? He knows exactly what he's going to do. He knows he's going to get him results because he's in TTT fitness, right? He's in TTT fitness. So this is the sort of plan you guys want to be looking for and doing. So if you guys want one-to-one fitness coaching and you want to burn that fat, you want to relieve that joint pain, you want to have a healthier lifestyle, then just go click the links in the description of this video, and there's 2 links in there. So one's my Instagram and then one's another video, just me talking about my story and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested and you want one-to-one fitness coaching with myself, just follow them links, watch my other videos, or just DM me on Instagram, right? And look, if you guys got any questions as well, honestly, feel free to message me on Instagram. I try and get back to everyone, right? So if you guys got any questions at all about fitness, health, dieting, gymming, confidence, building muscle, anything like that, right? I'm always open on Instagram, so just send me a message on there and I'll be there to help. So if you guys are interested, follow the links in the description, message me on Instagram, and I'll see you guys there.